Hey everyone, this is Luminous coming you guys with a pro to the commentary. Today I'm going to cast SGC versus Monkeys. Monkeys. If you haven't been really following the latest Ghost of Gamer news or SG Gamer news, Monkey is a team being formed up by former NE players, Nordic Esport, and former Nevo players. Now I'm not too sure whether Nevo has been disbanded or they just have a roster change, but it's curious that they're using a Monkey tag. So if you guys know, just give me a response on the comment section below. NE definitely has disbanded, so the players from NE is Calculus and also Link. So they're going to be playing with the Monkeys now. The roster right now is looking like the Miguel, Rise, Calculus, Link, and Angel. And the curious thing about this lineup is that there's no hardcore support players, or at least they haven't been seen as playing a hardcore support role in their past clans. So it's going to be curious in terms of who's going to be playing the hardcore support. I've seen Rise playing a Chen, and he plays it pretty well. So let's say he's going to be playing the other hardcore support role. If let's say Chen is being picked again or Crystal Maiden is picked, let's see if that's going to be the case. Let's go into the picks and ban here. We do see Ancient Apparition, Invoker, and a Night Stalker being banned. That's very curious. Shadow Demon, Lich, and the Brood Mother on the other side. And now the Night Stalker ban makes complete sense, seeing that we do have the Weaver and the Omni Knight being picked up. Of course, the Night Stalker has a long duration silence that the Weaver and the Omni Knight have to deal against, and now that he's out of the way, these two heroes they have a lot more room to operate freely. Now, Sentinel's gotta be a little bit careful about the Doom pick as well. Doom definitely not been the trendy pick nowadays because he has quite a bit of trouble laning. Especially the mid lanes definitely got harder nowadays. Beastmaster making more appearance there, Omni Knight making more appearance there. We definitely see more range heroes there as well. So the Doom is gonna have trouble in terms of staying in the mid lane, especially in this case, staying in the mid lane against the Omni Knight, against his Degen Aura, against his Purification. And Doom definitely has quite a bit of trouble. But you can't put him anywhere else because he needs that solo EXP. So that's why Doom hasn't been too popularly, but maybe against the Weaver and Omni Knight, you might want to still consider to pick him up. So just a little bit of dot for Monkey there. Meanwhile, Scourge team has the Furion, the Potom, and the Chen being picked up. The Furion has been very trendy pick for European lately because of the versatility in terms of laning. He could go in solo mid position like Easy Style has been doing lately. If you want to see a solo mid Furion, very ball sleep solo mid Furion. Let me add to that. There's a commentary by Ian James Barnett. Easy Style, go check that game out. Definitely a very exciting game in there as well. So like I was saying, Furion could go solo mid or into the jungle, but considering that Scourge team already have a Chen, so he could most likely the Furion's gonna be in one of the lanes, if not solo mid. More likely he's gonna be solo mid because it's gonna be very awkward in terms of laning him and silencing, very easy to get picked off. So solo mid is most likely the position. We do see a Potom being picked up as well. More likely than not, as a counter to that Omni Knight, we're gonna see Potom most likely going to an early game Diffusal Blade in terms of countering that repel. And then we see Doom being banned by the Sentinel team. Kind of going back to what I said earlier, Doom going to be the ultimate counter to both the Weaver and also the Omni Knight. We're going to see Omni Knight's repel going to be very effective in terms of keeping that Weaver alive, or at least forcing the Potom to get that Diffusal Blade. And also, the Omni Knight pick will allow the Sentinel hero to pick up even squishy heroes to keep them alive. So in the past, we've definitely seen combos such as the Omni Knight repel on things like Enigma, allowing the Enigma to delay or even skip the BKB altogether. So if we see a BKB carry of some sort on the Sentinel end, that the repel is going to be very, very effective in terms of keeping them alive. Meanwhile, we do see the Enigma being banned. Maybe they don't want to go against the Enigma Omni Knight Black Hole kind of combo. That's going to be ugly to go up against. Windrunner being banned. Windrunner just being a good hero overall. Scourge having the pick after the ban phase. Let's see what they're going to be picking here in terms of countering both the Weaver and the Omni Knight, because that's going to be a little bit difficult to counter. Single target disable might not be the answer, considering repel is going to block most of it unless you pick like something up like a Beastmaster. Although Beastmaster going to have trouble laning as well. Where are you going to put him? Are you going to put him solo mid? He might have a little bit of trouble against Omni Knight there as well. So it's no, and also there's no guarantee that the SGC is going to put Omni Knight solo mid. We might see some sort of dual lane between Crystal Maiden and Omni Knight. That's not a bad lane. Quite a bit of slow there to work with, and we're going to see a Gondar. All right. So Gondar will do two things in this case. A, he will of course track the well, he will track everyone, but more importantly, he will track the Weaver. That's going to reveal him even if he casts Akushi. But more importantly, it's going to give his team that bonus gold to work with whenever they get the kill. The second more important thing is that he's going to be able to keep up against that Degen Aura. Of course, Degen Aura, once the Degen Aura gets up on you within that 400 range, once that Nova Blast is going to be coming down, you're running nowhere. And when you're running nowhere with, you know, purifications raining down from the sky, with the Swarm doing so much damage to you, you're going to be in deep trouble, especially when you have slow moving heroes such as Chen and Furion. So the Gondar track bonus movement speed, you cannot underestimate that, and I think that might have been part of the reasons why they picked it up. So far the Scourge team is looking okay, as we see Shaker being picked up here, kind of a anti-pushing tool there. I'm a little bit worried about Scourge's AoE power right now, because they don't have any. Of course they do have the Starfall, which, I mean, that's a semi melee spell, because you got to get close to the enemy creeps, close to enemy heroes to use it to its full effect. And the Wrath of Nature, which is okay, but you can't spam that. So I'm a little bit worried about the Scourge in terms of having defensive power against strong pushes. They are a very strong pushing team themselves. Of course, if they ever get a pick-off, which they're really good at a pick-off, having global TP, having a Sprout into a very full, long duration of the arrow, they could push with Force of Nature, Trend Creeps, and now they're going to pick up the Sand King, and that is going to answer all my worries about the lack of AoEs, whether being AoE stun or just AoE nuke. Now they're looking a little bit more well-rounded as a team fight lineup. Because, you know, if a push is coming, you can always blink Epicenter in, and that's going to be pretty ugly for the enemy team. I think the Scourge Sentinel right now could pick into a Pugna, and that's going to be a multi-purpose pick against all of these heroes. First, it's going to be very good against that Sand King in terms of once you put down that Nether ward, there's no way he could blink Epicenter in. Like, if you cast Epicenter, that ward's going to zap you, and that's going to cancel your Blink Dagger. And, I mean, that's basically going to stop Sand King's combo. It's basically forced him to get a BKB so he could Burrow Strike in and then cast the ult there. Wow, it's going to be a Quap. But let me go back to the Pugna, even though the Pugna is not going to be picked. I just want to talk about why I think Pugna would have been a good pick here. Secondly, the Pugna wouldn't be bad against the Gondar. If the Gondar gets big in late game situation, whoever he's focusing, whoever he's tracking and right-clicking like crazy, you could just put a Decrep on that person, or Decrep the Gondar, and Gondar won't be doing anything in that case. Also, the Pugna itself will be very, very good in terms of stopping the early game pushes that's going to be coming their way from the Furion and also from the Chen. So I'm a little bit surprised that they're going to pick it into a Quap. So let's think a little bit about the Quap. First, Quap is going to benefit a lot from the Crystal Maiden Aura and also from the Repel. I mean, Quap definitely a very squishy hero, but he actually could blink in very offensively in the thick of things with the Repel on him and cast all of her spells. So that's one of the benefits. She nukes very hard, has a lot of AoE control. If you look at the Sentinel lineup, very, very AoE heavy. And that's going to put a lot of pressure on that Chen in terms of casting a very good Hand of God. If that Chen ever gets picked off in a team fight, that's going to be it for the Scourge team, because they are quite squishy as a lineup, especially without that Chen healing them. Cool thing I want to point out about Chen is that he has not spent all of his gold. He has bought a chicken, a salve, and a smoke of the sea, and that's it. He's saving 200 gold, and the reason for saving that 200 gold is because if he ever know that his jungle is warded off, he will have the option to get that sentry ward if he chooses to do so. Let's introduce the players a little bit in terms of what they're playing and which hero they're on. We do see Kranich on the Shaker. I think that was a little bit of a... That's a regen rune being picked up by Gondar. Not too big deal. Lasik playing that Quap, Warlock on the Weaver, Tulix on the Omni Knight, Golik on the Crystal Maiden. Meanwhile, Miguel on the Gondar, Chen being played by Rice, Calculus playing the Potom, Link playing the Furion, and Sand King playing by Angel. Angel, by the way, has one of the best Sand King, second to only Mania Sand King in my opinion. So we're going to see some very good Sand King play as well. Ward being dropped off on the Scourge jungle, blocking the pole camp, seeing the rune spot. Also, Ward being dropped off here, and so far, the second ward on Sentinel not being dropped off for now. The laning is going to be a Gondar versus a Weaver. I fully expect the Weaver have the advantage in this lane. Meanwhile, in the mid lane here, we have a Quap versus Furion. This lane really comes down to last hitting at the early stage of the game. But once it comes down to maybe level 5, level 6, we're going to see Quap nuking a lot heavier, especially at those key moments such as, you know, the 130 mark, the 330 mark, the 530 mark to push the creep wave to the enemy position in front of the enemy tower, and then that's gonna allow the Quap to get the the 2, 4, 6 minute runes and control the lane through having more mana regen, having more HP regen. There's gonna be a roaming shaker, although this roaming shaker is not gonna be too effective. South is already forced to Poppy on the bounty hunter, but the reason I say this shaker is not gonna be too effective is he really can't get a kill against the Gondar, even if they get like a dust or whatever, because I mean they need another stun, but they are doing quite a bit of damage to this Gondar. Gondar is going to be forced to pick up a Salve. Now he already used his own Salve, so he's going to have to force to use Chen's Salve there. So that's quite unfortunate for Gondar, using so much restorative so early in the game, only in 1 minute into the laning phase. Meanwhile, on the bot lane here, we do see the Crystal Maiden and the Omni Knight against the Potom and the Shaker. I don't think anyone will die in this lane for quite a bit, considering that 3 out of 4 heroes in this lane need a lot of EXP to work with. Chen doing a little bit of creep stacking and probably going to do a creep pulling as well. Weaver, the Shaker going to be roaming quite a bit, not finding the gank to be effective in the top lane. I don't think he'll be effectively ganking the mid lane as well, although the Furion is quite low in EXP. The Weaver level 3.5, so is Gondar actually leading a little bit of EXP because the Shaker was in a position to steal some of his EXP. Meanwhile, Chen getting a lot of EXP in the jungle as well. So far has not picked up a creep yet. Not even picked up a creep. Oh, I think he picked up a Furbolg earlier, but it died. But not picking up a Ogre Magi. I mean, it's not the best creep to pick up, but it's a creep nonetheless. It's going to give you frost armor to keep you alive. So you see the Weaver coming in, shooting a little bit of creep jack, and looks like he might be at least going to pick off the Ogre Magi, and looks like he's going to be last hitting these wolves as well. So very well done from the Weaver, jacking the EXP that should have been rightfully against the Chen. Chen's got to be very careful because here we go. We have the Sakushi coming in, and the Swarm's going to be casted right there, and that Chen is going to be dead. Gemini attack proccing? No, Gemini attack not even needed, as we see First Blood being picked off by the Weaver. Rise going down, unfortunately, there. Meanwhile, on the bot lane here, we do see Shaker coming around trying to give a little bit of assistance. I don't think the Scourge dueling or Sentinel dueling needed assistance there, because they would have been fine having Purification, Repel, and the Crystal Nova and the Bite. They have quite a bit of defensive power. But I think the reason the Shaker is here is because he has nowhere else to go, because mid lane doesn't really need him, top lane doesn't need him at all. So he's gonna be fine. Meanwhile, we do see Gondar picking up a Ring of Poseidon and also a Ring of Regen. I really hope that is not a Vlad's, because Gondar needs more item than a Vlad's, or at least the first item shouldn't be a Vlad's. As we see Shaker poking his head out a little bit, trying to scare away the Sand King. Sand King says, I don't care. You can poke your head all you want. I have Sandstorm to stay alive. Oh, actually, they might be making it go now on the Sand King. Sand King's going to take a fixture, and there's a Purification coming as well, but he's going to Bureau Strike out. And it's going to be completely difficult to kill the Scourge bot lane, because they have, what, a Sandstorm, they have a Bureau Strike, they have a Leap, as we saw all those spells being casted there. They're going to be completely fine. I think the goal of both teams right now is to level up. Simply just to level up. I mean, I'm going to pull down the menu and show you all these heroes that require level. Potom, Sand King, Furion, Gondar, Crystal Maiden. Yes, Crystal Maiden, I'll explain that in just a bit. Weaver, Quap, and Omni Knight. They all need levels. And yes, they could, make some kill attempts, but it's going to be difficult against each other, especially when they don't have enough levels to chain stun very properly or do all that, do the high damage they need to do. So I think both teams going to be playing very passively until they get that level 5, level 6, and then we're going to see a little bit more aggression play. So earlier I was talking about why Crystal Maiden needs level, and you might be quite curious, like, well, she's a support hero, why do you want her to give her level? I thought most support heroes should be level independent, and that's mostly true. That's mostly true. But if you want to look at this lineup that she's in and the lineup she's against, let's look at the Sentinel lineup. Very, very dependent on that Mana Aura. Omni Knight, Strength Hero need that Mana Aura. Shaker need that Mana Aura. Quap is going to be casting non-stop, need that Mana Aura. Mana Aura is going to allow the Weaver to Sakushi non-stop as well for the early game harass, early game farm. It looks like a Crystal Maiden is still keeping that Aura at 1 right now, but we're definitely going to see her pick up that Aura at 4 and 5. I guarantee you it. The second thing about this is, do you want to max Nova? Like, Nova is a very, very good spell. In terms of having a little bit more AoE control, the AoE slow is going to be very good in terms of allowing the Omni Knight to walk in and get his degen aura starting to do more and more effective slow. So maxing the Nova wouldn't be a bad idea as well. Or do you want to max bite? Because on the Scourge team, there's a truckload of invisibility. Of course, Moonlight Shadow is going to keep his entire team invisible. The Sand King, of course, the Sandstorm, the Gondar having the having the Windwalk there as well. So maybe you want to max bite for that reveal and also the stun duration. So it's gonna be very hard to say what spell she's gonna max as we see engagement going against the Shaker. Shaker in trouble, all those nukes coming in. Also a Wrath of Nature, but looks like, oh, Sankey might be in trouble. He might take a heal. There's a repel on him as well. Sprout targeting on the ground, very well done by Link there. Link's gonna pick up a kill. Looks like they might be going for 2 legs as well. 2 legs gonna go down. Very good coordinated ganks, coordinated single targetings for the Scourge team. Picks up 2 very easy kill there. Well, I wouldn't say that they're easy, but picks up 2 kill for the Scourge team, and that is going to allow them to dominate the lane now, because the Crystal Maiden can't really inch too far forward in fear of getting picked off without the support of that Omni Knight, so she has to stay very, very far back as she's doing right now, and that's going to give both Calculus and also Angel a little bit more farming time and also more CSing time, more EXP time. And now with the Omni Knight TPing in, he's at lower level as well, and that's going to be put him in a very dire situation. As we see a little bit of ping of a gank attempt on the mid lane here, they definitely need Shaker's in position. Looks like we have the blink in from the Quap, and they are going in on the Furion. There's a blink right now, but there's a Fissure. Yes, Fissure is going to cancel the teleport attempt, and very well done by the Sentinel team. They can pick up 1 kill there against that Furion. So we do see, I think with that kill, we do have Queen of Pain at level 8. Gonna pick up a No Talisman, so is that a Dagon first? I'm quite curious about that, although he might just be picking up the No Talismans for extra stats, because it is plus 9 damage. Very, very good stats, especially on the Quap, something like that. So not a completely unordinary item buy if he just picks up the No Talisman by itself. But meanwhile, looking at the top lane here, we do see Weaver at 34 and 6. Meanwhile, Gondar also keeping up at 31 CS, so very well done despite being harassed down so early in the early game. I think he might have had some early game trouble, but because he had picked up a Ring of Regeneration and also Ring of Health, he now has a lot of HP to stay in lane. Also going to be using that track quite freely in terms of keeping this Weaver a little bit wary. Like, the Weaver gotta be careful. Now that I'm tracked, I'm actually in danger of a Furion gank, so he's got to be careful of that as well. This Chen's been farming non-stop in the jungle, so I can only guess they just want a quick level 6 on that Chen to depend on the Hand of God, which is not a bad choice considering that Sentinel team nukes fairly hard, AoE nukes fairly hard, so having an earlier and higher level of the Hand of God will be fairly effective. Looks like the Queen of Pain has picked up a haste rune. Let's see if she could get anything done against this Prophet. Prophet needs to get back, and she does do so. Me on the bot lane here, the Sentinel did pick up a Arcane Boots, and that's going to allow them to spam all those spells on that bottom. You can see that bottom already out of regen and having quite low in HP. The Sand King staying very, very far back, out of regen as well. So we're going to see the Nova flying, we're going to see the Fissure flying, and also the Purification pushing the creeps if they choose to do so. Right now, the Sentinel is still playing fairly passively, maybe still remembering the result of the last gank. Maybe they're going in right now. Shaker, ooh, gets fogged a little bit, but still casts the Fissure against the darkness. Gonna cast against the bottom. Very well done. Where's the Mono Aura? Mono Aura is a level 3 as expected, and she's probably gonna max it by 7. And yeah, these guys could cast non-stop because look at the fast amount of mono regen. And once the Arcane Boot pops, he's gonna be back at full HP or full MP, and he could be really just basically casting non-stop. Looks like we have a little bit of engagement on the top lane here. Here's a track on the Nerubian Reaver. Nerubian Reaver actually picks up an Ultimate Orb. That's an indication that he's gonna be going for a Lincoln Sphere, but that's very curious. That's very curious. One of the biggest problem that Weaver has is because that he has had to invest so much gold in terms of survival items. And Lincoln's is just a very, very expensive survival item, as we see Weaver using his time lapse to get rid of the track, but he gets tracked immediately. He's got to be careful because here comes Chen trying to get some gank. It's going to be very hard in terms of getting a kill. There's a clap, but that clap, where's the clap? No clap? Okay, no clap. They might be getting a kill on the Weaver. Weaver very low, but out of nukes for the Scourge team. And they didn't have a Force of Nature coming in because he was getting ganked at the meantime. That was a Fissure, that was a Nova, that was a Bite. And they're going to claim a mid tower there as well. Looks like Crystal Maiden has actually lasted the tower. Very lucky for her. Going to have enough gold to pick up a boost speed, wards, and probably a teleportation score to help out the rest of the team. But now, so far, looking pretty good for SGC right now, but although it's really hard to say which team's going to have the advantage here because both teams, again, farming for those items. Wow, Vanguard. A Vanguard and a Quap. You guys know my feelings on the Vanguard, especially on this Queen of Pain. I think she might have just bought the vid booster first, or she just maybe bought the whole thing all together. One of the best thing about Vanguard is the way you build it up, which is the Ring of Regen. I don't think the damage block, especially on the range hero, is going to be that good. If you just want the extra HP, I think a solo or a Vitality booster by itself is just fine. So I'm not too sure whether the other 1,000 gold investment is all too necessary. Of course, I mean, every player has his own reason. Maybe this quad might be diving a lot, so especially if you have the repel on you, you can be diving a lot. You're not going to be worried about spells. You're only going to be worried about physical DPS, especially coming in for the creeps. So that's going to help you tank quite a bit. So maybe that was an early indication that they will be doing a lot of dives. So if that's the case, maybe this wasn't a bad buy. So I'm just trying to give you guys what I see as the goods and bads of the items. So. And also, we don't know what this quad player is thinking, so we can never tell. As we see a little bit more engagement over here, Sand King needs to get out. Sand King, by the way, has farmed up to Arcane Boots, which is pretty good farm considering that they were under constant harassment of that trialing. Mirana has picked up a bottle as well, and I wonder if she is going to end up going for that early game Diffusal Blade or Mantis Owl. I would bet my money on it. It's going to be Diffusal Blade because, I mean, why else would you want to spend a second pick on the bottom? You really want that early game diffusal counter, as we see a lot of engagement against this bottom. This bottom's by the way, has been leaping a lot. If you've been paying attention on the minimap, she's been like jumping all over the minimap, and that's an indication that these guys are being a lot of very, very aggressive. And I really like SGC's aggressiveness, especially against bottoms. A lot of times you're like, oh, that's a bottom, we can't kill her, so let's just farm. I mean, even though if you can't kill her, if you constantly put pressure on her, it's kind of like player mentality, man. If they always have to play very cautious, they might miss a couple creep kills in fear of death. They might have to stay back, and if you ever get caught without a leap, you are dead. And now that they're forced to pot them back, they are farming in her lane, pushing in her tower, and there's really nothing a Potom could do. I mean, she's wasting gold to TPing back and forth back in lane, and now she's CP in. She can't do too much other than Starfall and maybe grabbing one kill in the process. Yeah, she's unable to grab those creep kills as well, so they're really effectively controlling her farm as well. 13 minutes in, only 29 creep kills. And here we go, she's trying to make something happen, but again gets completely forced back, and this tower is going to be very soon breached by the Sentinel in line. And meanwhile, Scourge here, Sentinel in the mid lane here, Queen of Pain still farming in a way. I wonder what her next item is going to be. I mean, if we see a Vanguard first, we could definitely see anything from this quap. Looks like we do have a couple teleportation swirl coming in from the Sentinel. That is going to be a Shaker and a Crystal Maiden. I don't think the Crystal Maiden needed to teleport in, but maybe they were expecting a top push, especially if you're up against a Chen. You gotta always expect a top push, or a Furion, you know. So not the best, not the worst choice to TP in, excuse me. Meanwhile, we do have Furion. Looks like he has gone for Hand of Midas. So most likely, maybe expecting the fact that really the Dagon won't be too effective, especially against a repel and a purification. So gonna try to get to his quick hex through the Hand of Midas bonus gold. Meanwhile, it looks like we have a little bit more engagement on the bot lane here. Gondar has gotten into position. Potom is also in position. Gondar trying to get a kill against this Omni Knight. It's gonna be a little bit difficult because Omni Knight has that repel, and also if he really needs to use it, he could use his ultimate to stop any kind of physical DPS. So I think, yeah, Gondar has realized that as well. It's going to just walk away. Looks like we have an engagement on the top lane here. Chen is going to be going down. No, he uses Hand of God. Should be fine right now, but there's a hasted Queen of Pain, and hasted Queen of Pain is going to track you down. He's juking under the shadows. Very well done by... No, he just dodges out in the wrong position. Meanwhile, we have to force the nature creeps, and I think the Furion is also in position right now. CM very, very low, gets blocked by his own Fissure from his teammate. Sandstorm being cast right now. Quap is going to blink out just fine, but it looks like Crystal made it out of position, and it's going to get picked up by the Furion. Furion ports in right now, but where is the Sprout? No, is Sprout on cooldown? That is the question. Looks like we have the Swarm coming in from the Weaver. That's going to keep the... It looks like it's Crystal Maiden's gonna live it out. She's gonna tango out, but wow, what a good tango! But still dies to the Shuriken toss. But meanwhile, we have the Weaver going against the Furion. Furion a little bit of trouble. Still doesn't have a Breeze of Sleep finish because he's rushing the Midas. But Weaver kind of unable to find him right now, and the Weaver needs to get out because once he gets tracked, he might be in a bad... Yeah. Oh no, he's gonna be fine. Okay. If he got tracked, he might just get ported back in by the Furion and get sprouted, and that's kind of going to be looking good. Meanwhile, at this time, looks like the Omni Knight has taken the time to get a top bot pushed. So very well done for them there in that case. You know, realizing that your teammate is fighting a team fight on the top lane, if you can't TP and then join the fight, might as well try to get a little bit of pressure. And they got a tower down, so that's extra 200 gold for the team. And Tulix farming extremely well right now. Just finished the mechanism, and with the Omni Knight, Arcane Boost, and Mega Finish. This is definitely a very old school AoE build to help the team. A lot of times nowadays we see something like a Sword Ring into a Django, a lot more offensive build for Omni Knights. This one a little bit more team support. And not to say this build is bad at all, but we're gonna. I think the role of Omni Knight right now in this game is to support that Queen of Pain, and also against that support the Weaver, and they're gonna be doing that fine. As we see this Weaver still working on that the Lincoln Sphere. Is he gonna be close? He does have 100 gold in the bank. That means this recipe is coming in right now. Yes, that is going to be Lincoln Sphere recipe. And that's a 16 minutes and a half Lincoln Sphere. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. Invisible Bottom is coming in, and so is the Invisible Gondar most likely. And who is going to be in this trouble? I mean, I don't even need to say this Crystal Maiden is basically dead. Oh, actually level 3 aura still, so maxing that Nova by 7. As we see Arrow coming in, there's a track and there's a kill there. Basically a free kill. And it looks like this top tower might be going down. Are we going to see any teleportation coming in from the Shaker? Shaker buys a TP scroll here. But looks like they're not going to be teleporting it. Instead, they're going to be doing a little bit of tower trade, which might not be a bad choice at all. But if you're trading, you gotta start hitting creeps right now. It looks like they're not gonna be doing a trade, so they might just be losing a tower for free. Yes, they are gonna lose the tower for free. So unfortunately for the Sentinel team, they lost a Crystal Maiden and a tower and didn't get too much out of it himself. Quap farming the mid lane as well, trying to do a little bit of pressure there. But I think the Scourge guys have an ample time in terms of teleporting back to defend the mid tower if they need to do so. Meanwhile, the Mirana fires off an arrow, and that is going to hit the Shaker, but there's a swarm coming in. Are they going to get a track on him? There's a track, very long casting range, and it looks like the bottom needs to get out. Very low mana, not enough mana for a Starfall. There's a Shuriken Toss, going to get a kill on the Shaker, but meanwhile, we have the Gondar in trouble. There's the Hand of God flying off, just trying to rescue him, but I think he's going to go down regardless. Impeding Dust and the Bug on him, he's completely revealed, and he has to turn back, and that's the cue for the Scourge team to turn back. And at the end of that team fight, you might say, hey, that was a pretty okay trade, or actually a very good trade for the Sentinel, as we see a little bit of engagement on the mid river. I think the Quap is, the bottom's gonna be fine, but notice there's a blink from the Quap, or we have another Scream of Pain. Scream of Pain is gonna be casted. Yes, there we go. 7-second cooldown on that Scream of Pain. Gonna pick off the bottom. Very well done by the a BOT. Okay, I'll talk about this BOT in just a bit after I finish talking about how the last team fight here went out. It was a 1-for-1 trade. I lost my Shaker, you lost your Gondar. You might be like, hey, that's a very, very good trade for us because I lost my support, you lost your carry. I mean, that's one way to look at it, but another way to look at it is that kill that the Scourge got on the Shaker, that was a track kill. So that meant they got was it 75 bonus gold or 150 bonus gold? Yeah, that was a 150 bonus gold for the entire team. So that was 750 gold for that one kill. Of course, Gondar himself got a little bit more because he got the kill. And then you lose your Gondar. That might not have been the worst trade because track is such an insane spell in terms of giving gold bonus like that. So it's definitely not as bad for Scourge as it seemed. As we see a top push coming in from the Quap. For the Sentinel lineup, and the Sentinel lineup is they're doing such a strong push, and here we go. Wow, a long range arrow is gonna hit Tulix. Tulix might be going down before the team fight actually happens, and he does. Meanwhile, Sand King is gonna retreat right now. Oh, they might be going against the Sand King. The Sonic Wave misses the Sand King. Here's Sand King casting that. Oh, he actually being quite offensive right now, going against the Shaker. Shaker very low, but he pops his ult. Team fight is completely hectic right now. Do we have any buybacks? Furion coming right now, being rewarded away, but here comes Gondar on cleanup duty, gonna pick off the Shaker again. There's that track bonus goal, giving himself even more mobility and also more bonus gold. And now it looks like, is he going to be tracking the the Weaver in trouble? It looks like yeah, the Lincoln Sphere, excuse me, the Lincoln Sphere blocked the actually, I think the Lincoln Sphere was on cooldown, the track was on him. The Lincoln Sphere actually blocked the Janata hit, and then he time-lapsed the track away. So but going back to that Quap BOT, it's so non-standard. It's my first initial reaction because I see he's actually looking for a kill right now. The reason that we don't see BOT Quaps anymore, or BOT general anymore, on any hero aside from Tinker, as we have a Dust. Yes, we do have a Dust, and there's that a lot of nukes being dropped on the Gondar. Gondar goes down. The reason that we don't see BOT Quap anymore is, or BOT in general anymore, because games get decided 25 minutes in, 30 minutes in. If you spend, a good bulk of that time farming for BOT, that means you're not farming for any other item that really helps you in a heads-up engagement, because BOT doesn't really help you in a heads-up engagement. It helps you to get to that engagement quickly, which is not a bad thing at all, but it doesn't help you once you're in that engagement, aside from that mobility. But I guess because the Quap is so full farm right now, he's got what, 120 something creep kills, he's got 4 kills right now, so he's getting so much gold. And I mean, this BOT allows him to farm at far away portions of the map and still go into every single team fight. I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad. It's just very curious, because I mean, if you use that gold and maybe investing towards an early Dagon or very early Hex, that could be completely devastating in terms of any type of you know, early game engagement. Dagon gives you a 400 damage nuke. That's very insane. The Quap is a 3-second. Excuse me. The Hex is the 3-second stun. So these are pretty devastating items in itself as well. So very curious choice that the Queen of Pain has opted for a BOT. So we'll see whether it pays off though. Meanwhile, on the Scourge, we do see the Gondor farming. Okay, thank God he's not going for Vlads. He's going to go for the more standard item, which is the Battle Fury. And if you're wondering why Battle Fury is often purchased on the Gondor, you can see that he was critting for 299 even with without the Battle Fury completed. Once the Battle Fury is going to be completed, he's going to be critting for 350 or maybe even 400, depending on his level. And if he's critting on someone with the track, he is going to do so much damage. So it's such a DPS heavy item. For 4,600 gold, you doesn't get too much better than that. Looks like we have a Sentinel trying to get a mid tower push down. Can they do it right now? Glyph is already popped. They're gonna get the tower regardless. Arrow's gonna hit. Meanwhile, Sand King canceling his ult. Maybe mistiming it. He did mistiming it right now. And Sand King goes down. Potom goes down. Now the Shirian in trouble as well. Now Quap blinks in. He's gonna be fine because there's a purification. There's gonna be repel on him as well. Yes, there we go. And they're gonna pick off. Ooh, are they gonna get free on very low? But there's the blink from the Quap, gonna pick him up as well. That's a double kill from the Quap. Quap still going for it, but he might be finally going down. Yeah, he does go down. But with BOT, you could buy back and come right back in. He does do that right now, and that is the early game power DPS. If you have such an advantageous team fight, especially so deep into the enemy territory, you could buy back and go for the racks, and there's nothing this Gondar could do right now. He's trying to get a kill against Warlock, but there's shield coming in. He does have the link into it, so he could block quite a bit right now, and that Chen might be in trouble as well. Quap gonna be on pick off duty. He's gonna blink in, gets yet another kill. So that buyback, getting the mid tower, getting those kills are making it completely worth it right now. Blink Dagger is finished on the Sand King. He blinks in, and Sandstorms and Barrel Strikes and barely survives right now. Long Arrow is gonna whiff, and this tower is under constant focus. The Scourging monkeys can't monkey around no more. They're losing this Rax. Furion comes in right now. Gondar gonna get picked off, and that is huge trouble for Nevo, or for Monkey. Monkey's gonna lose this Rax. Yes, no two ways about it. Are you gonna stay for the range Rax? I think they could back off right now to play safe. No, they're gonna be feeling comfortable and gonna take off that Rax as well. Half the entire team for the Sentinel is tracked, but there's really no avenue of initiation from the Scourge to come in. Now we have the entire Scourge team TPing out, a Sentinel team TPing out, and that is it. That's a 24-minute Rax being claimed by the Sentinel, and this game just got ridiculously hard for the Scourge team. Not only do they have to worry about farming, not only do you have to worry about being ganked, they also have to worry about constantly being pushed in the mid lane. Of course, they have pretty good heroes to deal with that. The Sand King, not bad if he decides to pick up a Caustic Finale. Fionn definitely extremely good in terms of dealing with pushes. And also the Potom not too bad himself. Very fast attack speed. Starfall has a relatively short cooldown, so they should be fine. As we see a little bit gank attempt against Shaker. Shaker uses Fissure already, so he is sitting duck. As we see Sand King coming in position, trying to KS that kill. Calculus gets that kill, and looks like he's gonna go for ooh. He's gonna go for Manta Style first, which is very curious. I'm not too sure whether Manta Style over the Purge is a better choice, because I think the repel is really hurting them right now. Once that Quap blinks in, she is invulnerable. She's literally invulnerable for that 5-6 seconds, because I mean the Scourge team somewhat spell heavy right now. If you look at the Scourge lineup, completely spell heavy aside from that Gondar. So they can't stun her, they can't nuke her down, and you can't really right click her because her nukes do way more damage. So you see Quap coming in, it's got an arrow right now, or we can have a Burrow Strike. There's a Burrow Strike, but there's no way they could kill her. I see Sand King freeze by under the tower, and that Sand King gonna go down to the Shaker TP as well. We do have the Furion needs to get out. Furion being focused down by the Weaver. Weaver's got the relic. Oh my god, this Weaver is far. Meanwhile, Potom also out of position a little bit. He needs to leap out. I think the Potom's gonna be fine. It has most likely leap stun go down. If not, leap is a 30-second cooldown. Ooh, Shaker in position for a very good block. But yeah, that's gonna be a leap from the Quap, and that's gonna be fine. But yeah, that Weaver, oh my god, completely. That was a 25-minute, 24-minute maybe even relic and a Lincoln Sphere. What I was saying about him not getting enough damage, he's farming really well. I guess a big part of it was them getting a gazillion assist gold and the mid lane getting the Rex there, and Shaker picking up the TP, the Blink Dagger there as well. And now with the Radiance almost being completed, Sentinel looking really good right now. I'm having a lot of fear for Monkey in terms of coming back. There is a Battle Fear finish on the Gondar. You can see that he's critting almost 400 damage, and that's starting to become something to worry about the Sentinel. I mean, Sentinel, they got the magic immunity through the repel, but you can't always depend on that ultimate from the Gondar. I mean, you can't always depend on the ultimate from the from Chulix, the Omni Knight, to really keep you alive. And very smartly reducing Omni Knight, picking up even more armor, even more survivability through that Shiva's Guard. Not only will it give of course himself a lot of plus armor, also give that very nice nuke, but also will slow down Potom's attack speed, Gondar's attack speed, which will come in a long way once it gets to later and later stage of the game. As we see Potom gonna leap out, Quap still don't have the Hex finish, and I mean that's. Well, I don't want to say he's farming bad, because he definitely isn't farming bad. Got the Vanguard BOT and a Mystic Staff, but I think because of that buyback earlier, hurt him definitely a little bit. Looks like the Sentinel gonna persist with this push, and they can, because they're right now stronger with the Radiance completed right now. They do have a Central Ward being dropped down. Don't want to get backstabbed by Potom initiation or any type of... Oh, it looks like there's an arrow gonna pop off that Lincoln charge, but really they gotta be very careful in terms of fighting against this Quap. Quap's repel runs out. She can only blink in with the repel on her. She's still very frail hero, even with the Vanguard. I mean, Vanguard or not, you're gonna eat nukes non-stop coming your way. Right now, Gondar does not have the BKB. Got the Ogre Axe. He needs the BKB, because once he does have the BKB, he would basically also achieve invulnerability status. He is just running with the BKB turned on. And really, Crystal Maiden, Shaker, they are going to be completely food. We do see Shaker being smoked up right now, and that's going to be very important. And that's where we have the Sentinel team charging in Quap, also in position to blink in right now. They're trying to focus out on the tower, but they need a little bit more DPS right now. Shaker also maybe in the position of blink in. Whose ward is this? This is the Sentinel ward. There's a track on the Shaker, and Shaker needs to turn back right now, because if he gets initiated in this awkward position, he is dead. Sand King is going to be blinking right here, initiating on the Shaker. Where's the arrow to follow up? There's no arrow to follow up, but they're going to nuke him down regardless. Wow, a Hand of God. Very clutch timing position. Looks like Potom is going to be living because of that. Very well done. Sand King position to stun the Quap. Can they kill the Quap right now? But Quap is going to blink out. No, but we have Gondar in position. They are going to pick off the Quap. Very well done. Meanwhile, Sentinel trying to do whatever damage against the tower as they can. They are going to bring the tower half HP. There's a glyph, and that should be Q for the Sentinel team to turn back. Very well done by Angel, recognizing that Shaker was a little bit out of position there and took fully advantage of that. Very strong play. But meanwhile, we have the Freon porting back in, and he's going to try to pick off the Crystal Maiden, but they got to be very wary that the Quap also have the buyback and porting anytime because if he has the BOT. I don't think she's going to be doing that right now, because it looks like they're going to be... Ooh, they might be in trouble, as we see the you see Warlock in trouble. He still has the time lapse as well, but Warlock gonna pick off a kill against Sand King, and now Gondar might be in trouble. He uses time lapse right there, gonna keep himself in position. There's a buyback from the Queen of Pain, and the Queen of Pain is she porting in anywhere, and that's Q for Freon to port out. Freon's gonna get the heck out. Meanwhile, we have the Potom also porting out just in time. Wow, that was a clutch move. I'm not too sure whether that was the best buyback, because definitely if you want to buy back, you want to buy back immediately. He definitely waited 10-15 seconds for that buyback, and then he bought back. So wasn't too effective of a buyback, but maybe he realized that his teammate needed a little bit help there. But even with the buyback, he didn't help his team to get too many kills out of that, because we did have the Freon and the Potom porting back. So right now we do see the Scourge team 5 strong in terms of defending their base, and let's see if they could get this push successfully. They don't have to Shaker with them anymore, as we see a good arrow coming in against the Omniman that completely changed and going on him. He's at half HP, gets a heal, but the Shaker, dropping on the Freon, dropping on the Sand King. Sand King gonna work out there fine, but here comes the Quap working on the tower. Tower's gonna get picked down by the Weaver. Weaver doing so much much damage right now. Whoa, that is a Starfall. That's the amplified damage. That's a Burrow Shard picking up both the both the Omni Knight and the Weaver. Very well defended by Monkey. Monkey showing that they're not monkeying around. Oh, pun. They're going to defend this successfully once again. Arrow is going to not hit the Shaker, and now Bottom got to just leap out there. She's got to be very careful because the Quap could just initiate in very much so easily as well. Mid tower still very healthy amount of HP. Good awareness by Monkey. Not only are they defending against very tough enemies at the bot lane, they are also defending the mid lane fairly effectively. The tower hasn't, taken too many hits. Of course, they lost quite a bit of their buffer buildings now, and now these treants are streaming in slowly doing the damage to the towers. But yeah, now the Gondor trying to work on the BKB. Almost there. How much gold is he missing? He's missing 700-800 gold. And once he does get the BKB, we're going to see Monkey playing a lot better. Having basically a guy that I think he's been critting for almost 600 now. And that's a scary amount of crit. Especially if there's a track on you. Oh god, that crit's going to hurt. And if these guys ever clump up, they are taking a Janata crit that's going to splash. So, I mean, there's a high chance that Miguel could actually carry the, look at that, 510 crit plus that Windwalk plus the track. If the track's going to be track, also give the enemy team some minus armor. So this is a legitimate worry that the Sentinel has got to deal with sooner or later. Of course, they will have the Hex completed soon, I hope. Quap, again, using that buyback last time. He's very close to his point booster now. Also, and once the point booster is going to be finished, oh, he's got to be careful as we see a couple guys come in. They can get a very, very good combo. There's a Blink Strike. There's an Epicenter being casted, and an arrow just for the mini stun. And they're going to try to pick up the Quap. There's a Repel on him as well. And so that's a lot of ult being used, but not accomplishing too much. As Chen going to be picked off. Chen goes down to the Weaver, and now they're going to try to pick off either the Quap, either the Sand King or the Bottom, but both of them has high enough mobility that they're going to be running out just fine right there. Oh, actually, Bottom coming right back in, using that invisibility. Can he pick off anything right now? Ooh, Queen of Pain is porting in somewhere. Porting back, okay. Buys a point booster, okay. I'm going to take that time to drink a little bit of water. Looks like the Sentinel is going to be trying to push the top lane. I'm not too sure whether that's the best decision. Or maybe they're going to just pushing just for this tower. I definitely think they should be pushing the bottom because the tower is already gone. Glyph is probably still on cooldown. But pushing the top tower, I mean, that's another 1600 damage they have to go through. Is BKB complete? Yes, BKB is completed, and this team fight is a team fight that Monkey has to win. If they lose this team fight, they lose the game. And here's the Sand King initiating. Are they going to focus on the... Oh, Julix gets a 5-second arrow on him, and meanwhile Gondor comes in from the background. Where's the BKB? There's a BKB. He's going to work on the Shaker. Shaker going to go down 2 more hits. He's going to go on the Crystal Maiden next. Crystal Maiden is going to go down. Meanwhile, Omnia has to face his own trouble right now. Omnia is going to TP out just fine. Crystal Maiden dies there. Double kill being picked up by Miguel, and that is exactly what I was talking about. Very well done by Monkey, utilizing that BKB fully effectively. He didn't pop the BKB and ran in. He waited for that, either the Fisher animation to be casted by the Shaker raising his totem, or waited for the free spy to cast on him and the BKB directly out of it. Then you get a full 10-second duration of that BKB, and then you just go ape shit on these 2 supports, and he just did that. Pick off the heroes, and now they could even maybe go for a mid first tier tower. You gotta be careful, don't get too greedy, because right now BKB is still on cooldown. The first level of BKB has such a long cooldown, so he's gotta be very careful of that. Now he's mortal again. He's mortal again until the BKB refreshes. So I think the Scourge team does realize that as well, and gonna just turn it back. Because right now they show that they can win the team fights, especially if the Sentinel team is not careful of that. Sentinel needs to find some answer to this. Either they need to out DPS Lagandar, which is heavily unlikely, or they need to get Force Scepters, Ghost Scepters, or Self Cyclones to get themselves in the air and basically force the Gondar to run around until that BKB duration runs out, and then you chain stun him to the death. Because without the BKB, he's only at 1400 HP, and it's not going to be able to do too much. Blast is also completed on the Gondar now to give him a little bit of a lifesteal. And now it looks like the Scourge team is sensing a little bit of urgency. They realize that this Gondar could only get bigger, and actually might even outcarry this the Weaver. Weaver already trying to go for the heart plus 25 strength, but meanwhile excellent play by the bottom here, realizing this push is imminent coming from the bot side. He's going to be pushing on the top, and then it's going to force the Weaver to TP back, grabbing himself like at least 1 or 2 minutes in terms of free farmer time, and that's going to be very important in terms of giving Miguel the room to farm that buyback gold. I don't think Miguel is going to be going for any item other than buyback gold right now. I can't believe I'm cheering for Monkey right now, despite that they're down 1 racks, because this game just looks so grim. But for the past couple of team fights, they're having one of the more well-coordinated team fights between the two teams, and now Monkey Miguel playing very, very well in terms of carrying the team back in the game right now. Also, Potom is now going for that diffusal play finally. I still don't know what the Manta style is about. If you got any guesses on why the Manta style is preferred, really, especially against Guardian Angel, write it in the comment section below. But now we have the Weaver gonna lead the charge. Most likely, I think we're gonna see them push maybe across this point and then transition to bot lane and continue to push there. But it's gonna be difficult because Furion, annoying as always, and just gonna be pushing every lane. Meanwhile, Sentinel says F it. Ooh, Scourge trying to get a Roshan seal, but they're not going to get it, as we see Sentinel having the ward in position. Also, they're noticing that too many heroes are missing to really have a non-Roshan attempt. It looks like Sentinel is going to be sealing this Aegis, and that's going to be horrible for the Scourge team, because I'm not too sure whether they win the team fight, especially with the Aegis ending on the Weaver. They might actually give the Aegis to the Omni Knight as well, because Omni Knight's been the first target for the Scourge team, so that wouldn't be bad, as we see track going on left and right. He's got to be very careful, because there's a Sentinel. If he ever gets stunned, there's a BKB pop in a timely fashion. Their chase focusing on 2legs. 2legs goes down immediately again without casting any single spells, and now they're focusing on the Quap. Quap in trouble. He's trying to blink out, but there's a blink dagger. No, Sanking blink dagger getting canceled right now. But now Freon being trained up right now in the trees, but he's gonna be okay. He still has the Aegis. Gonna be chasing the Potom. Potom dodging on the top right. There's a Hand of God keeping everyone alive right now. Shaker blinks in a wrong position. Where's the still fight going on? They're trying to focus out on the Weaver. Weaver, is he going down? There's Aegis on him right now, and looks like Gondar also joining back in the fight. Weaver needs to get out. Oh, he is dead. He is completely dead right now. Still no. Oh, there's a heal, and there's a repel going on him right now. He's gonna survive. Oh my goodness right now. But don't forget, there's a Freon TP, and he could always TP and then try to get rid of him, because the track's still on him right now. Meanwhile, Monkey still getting kills here and there with the help of that Gondar. Gondar gonna work on the Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden very, very low. One more hit on him will be the death of him again. Wow, that that Sprout might have saved the Crystal Maiden's life, as you see, we see focusing on 2legs at half HP right now. Pops the Guardian Angel, and that's cue for for Miguel to turn back right now, as we see Lasik getting a kill somewhere here and there, and this team fight is still going on right now. Gondar gonna pour out. Oh! Purification, 360 damage, pure damage. Where you at? He says. Gonna pick off Miguel, and that's all the way bad, dude. That's all the way bad. 3 deaths for the Scourge lineup. Only Potom still here to defend, but there's a Hex on the Potom. Excuse me, there's a Hex on the Quap, and where's the Hex? Oh, there's a Manta being popped right now. Hex, no Hex just yet. And this is, oh, there's the buyback from the Gondar, and that extra farming room that the Potom got his teammate earlier was pretty big, and that was a buyback. And now here we go, Gondar charging him right now. Who is he? He's gonna focus. Hex is going on left and right, but we're gonna see BKB pop immediately from that Gondar, or is he? He's tracking right now. He needs to pop the BKB, or he's gonna get nuked down to death. He's gonna get blinked upon. He pops the BKB a little bit too late, but now he actually can get right click down. Sanking drops a huge ult, but it's not gonna do too much right now against the repel. Potom, excuse me, the Potom also in trouble. Potom might be going down. Yeah, Potom is going to go down. Sanking a little bit of missed chain stun, but he needs to get out as well. Gondar trying to heal up. Potom buys back, but Raxes are breached right now. Omni Knight focusing on the range Rax, realizing that he can't kill the melee Rax as quickly as possible. But arrow hits against the Shaker, but Weaver in position to defend right now. There's a Gondar coming in, gets a huge crit against the Quap. Quap goes down. Blink comes in. Is that a buyback from? No, the Sanking was still alive right now. Gondar still in position. Oh, Gondar finally goes down. No buyback from Miguel right now. Furion goes down as well, and I gotta say that might be just the game for Monkey right now. Buybacks being traded left and right. Sentry Wars being dropped down everywhere. Finally, the Scourge team ran out of buybacks, and that was the game, unfortunately, for the Scourge team. They played so well, and I was cheering for such a good comeback from Monkey right now, but unfortunately, I think the Sentinel team just had too much of an advantage. They had a BOT quad with, whoa. Alright, they had a BOT quap with the Hex. I mean, Shaker was absolutely farm. He had quite an early Blink Dagger and Omni Knight, you can see, I mean, his support gear just speaks for itself. Potom gonna go down once again, and this is gonna be Mega Creeps being picked up, but well fought. I mean, well fought by Monkeys. Even though SGC win the game, I mean, Monkeys show that they had a glimmer, no, not even a glimmer hope. They had a big hope in terms of winning this game. That Gonzo just got ridiculously big. Unfortunately, got picked off a couple of times, and that this Roshan team fight was just, I mean, it was just so hard to catch. And it might be very lucky for SGC, because we saw Weaver definitely survive with maybe like 10, 20 HP. That could have been, you know, the minimum damage versus maximum damage for a couple more attacks. You know, that could have been it, but that's how the cookie combos. It's Sentinel that's win the team fight. You know, Sentinel that grabbed the Aegis, and Sentinel that is going to be claiming this game right now, and a lot of fountain farming going on. Guardian Angel being popped up. Tower can't do too much damage, and now they're getting farmed and farmed so hard. We were going to go down. I gotta say, that was probably a purpose move by the Shaker, blocking his teammate in like that. But yep, that's the game. Oh no, maybe we're gonna see some still very persistent defense right now. They're gonna pick off the Shaker, but Mega Creeps is gonna be a little bit too hard to go up against. And the Crow still alive. Gonna wait for the endgame scream to pop up, and then I'm gonna do a little bit of endgame analysis. We're gonna drink some water for now. Man, my throat is sore. Are they still fighting? Are they really still fighting? Potom gets hexed, and Potom goes down. Gonzo gets hexed, and Gonzo goes down. They didn't even have a second hex, but Sanking popping a huge hole. Gonna defend this, not really. Oh, might get a kill against Quap. Not gonna get it as Sanking goes down, and finally the game's over. But very well played by Monkey. I can't say where they made a mistake. I mean, I think they play us just as well. The early game just put themselves in too much of a disadvantaged position. The pushes from the Sentinel was just a little bit too hard to counter against. If I want to say they made any mistake, and I mean, I'm just guessing out of the blue here, I want to say Scourge did not have enough AoE to stop those early game pushes. You saw, I mean, that was a 24-minute Rex from the Scourge team. The Chen definitely did not play as an important role. I mean, those Hand of Gods, especially, I think he saved the Potom once or twice with very clutch Hand of God against those AoE DPS spells. But in terms of defending the Rexes, he did not play too much of a role. Did not have. I feel like the Scourge team altogether did not have enough AoE. I mean, Alina wouldn't be nice. It wouldn't be bad. If they had like Crystal Maiden as a support, wouldn't be bad either. They just did not have enough AoE. Again, Starfall, Wrath of Nature, they're not really the spammiest AoE, or they're not the AoE that you could cast that could hit everything. So, and they can't really depend on the Sanking really burrow striking in, because there was a gem on that Quap. So really, the Scourge team lacked the AoE to defend those pushes, and I think that might have been ultimately the reason why they got into such a big hole. But even though they got in such a big hole, they played so well. They played so well. I was cheering for Monkey to win, but unfortunately, they were not able to pull it off. So, very good victory for SGC, showing some very unorthodox item buying for that Quap. Very well done. Also, Lincoln Sphere first on the Weaver, showing that yes, you could still win games even if you go non-standard items. So, very well done by both teams. Now, before I close off this commentary, if you want to see more of Link's play, which is Furion in this case, Link plays quite a bit. He does have a stream, and on DotaCommentaries.com, whenever his stream is online, we do showcase his stream there as well. So if you want to see how a professional player plays, you know, non-pro games like pub games or whatever, you could see that in front of the DC page. And secondly, this is a continuation of my non-stop casting spree until my 200th commentary. So please do check out my channel each and every day, and because I'll be putting up more and more commentaries there as well. So that's it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed this commentary. Well played to both SGC and also Monkey. Hopefully we'll see more good games from them in the future. As always, this is Luminous with the Dead Voice signing off to you guys.